16-minute segments?
That's correct.
Awesome. Great. I am all ready to rock and roll if you're ready to rock and roll.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I'll count you in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am so happy you have all joined us today from hopefully the luxury of your homes or your cars. It could be good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon which time zone you're listening from, because we are global. We are in 13 countries now, so that is really awesome to be able to talk to everybody about. We're around the globe. Our community of Lead Up for Women is around the globe, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us every week so that you too can connect, influence, and lead in your life. And today we have a massive lineup for you of ladies that are going to be talking to you a lot about passion and purpose and how we can discover ourselves through dance and lead through our passion and our purpose. But first, you must have a vision, right, Carey?
Yes, I'm sporting my vision shirt today.
Yes, girl. Yes. I'm going to let all of our listeners, just as a small reminder to you, we do go live on Facebook. So for those of you that haven't joined us before, please go out to our Facebook page, Lead Up for Women, and go join us. And you can see all these beautiful ladies that I'm interviewing today. But I'm bringing on my special co-host for this week. As a member of Lead Up for Women, you get the opportunity to come on with me to the radio, be a co-host, promote what you're promoting. And today, my friend Carey is joining us because she has much to share about how important it is to take your vision from a hope, a dream, into reality, right? I'll let you say it so much better than me, Carey.
Well, the people have heard me speak and quote me that I say I help people take what they have, a hope and a wish and a prayer plan rolling around in their head.
Yeah.
Which is not a good place to keep it because there's a lot of other stuff going on in there too. So I help them get it out of their head and onto paper, Colleen, so that it becomes life. It becomes very crystal clear. It becomes a lot of detail behind it so that they can take the vision and they can put some timelines on some things. So it's not a someday plan.
Right.
Right.
And how do you do this? So you have several different platforms that you offer for women and men to work with you. And what are you working on right now?
So I have done a workshop forever, and it's on my website now as a free masterclass. So people can just download it and watch me walking people through the process of why they need to have a vision and how to get it written. But I'm also going to do a live webinar Thursday night at 6 p.m. Arizona time to talk about how to supernaturally crush your fears and doubts, most specifically pointing people to vision.
Yeah.
Because once you have a vision, you are pretty clear on your purpose, and it becomes like an anchor in all the storms of life. That's why I can maintain calm in the midst of everything going on right now.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Carey, because I think we need to bring that to light. Many people are seeing today as a storm. Yeah. You and I were talking about this earlier. We weathered through these because we've weathered through other things in our lives. And remembering that life isn't just about surviving, but about thriving. And how can we thrive through times where the line of communication and media you're receiving appears negative, right?
Yes.
But our mindset and our perspectives of what we do with what we're being handed is really the icing on the cake. Yes. And so Carey's offering a webinar on Thursday. How would they get hooked up into this webinar with you? Are you going to place that in the comment section as well?
Yes, the best place to go is my my Facebook community, which is called Vision Driven Life.
Vision Driven Life.
Join me there. Okay. We've been posting it in there. And I think it's also posted on my website. But the best place is to just follow me on Facebook and enter that community, Vision Driven Life.
Perfect. I love that. And that's an opportunity for you guys to jump on and do a free free webinar with Carey and learn a little bit more about how you can get the vision that you've got going on. Also kind of in your brain and in your mind and get it out on paper. That's really how things become a reality.
It's everything.
Right? If you don't have a goal, then what the freak are you trying to reach? I'm going to be real about that.
People are waiting for it to just come to them. It's that someday mentality when, when I'm not as busy and I don't have all this chaos going on and all of that. And what I've taught thousands of people is that you set the vision and it shows up.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to get it clear and you've got to get it on paper and you've got to put some dates on things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. It's measurable at that point. And so Carey and I are also going to be jumping on Wednesday, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're going to be jumping on and we're going to give you tips on thriving through this social isolation that we're going through. Carey's had several happenings in her life where she's self-isolated through the death of her husband and her son. And there's a lot of experience that's going to be discussed on how to mitigate through this social isolation and what you can do for what lead up for women's supports, which is show up and be seen. So we're going to be talking a lot about your opportunities for how you can do that online, how you can do that virtually, how you can work from home. There's so many tips that we're going to be giving you. So we definitely recommend that if you're not already hanging out with Lead Up for Women, that you do that for sure.
Yep.
And get some additional information. And you have another course coming up called SAM. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Oh, love to. So a lot of the people that I end up talking about vision to are what we're calling emerging entrepreneurs, which is another page, a Facebook page you can look for. I have found through all my speaking, my networking, my coaching, that most of the entrepreneurs I meet are busy and broke. They're running really expensive hobbies, really expensive hobbies, and they're ready to change that and really act and run a money-making business like a CEO.
Yeah.
And so about a year and a half ago, Colleen, I'm a big believer in collaboration. It's one of my top 5 core values. I don't need to be the sole anything. I would rather collaborate with a bunch of really brilliant minds and spread the wealth, right? So I lined up with another coach last year and said, hey, how can we bring together a 9-week course called Simplify, Accelerate, and Monetize, SAM, to help entrepreneurs, number one, simplify their business because most of them are doing way too much so that their business accelerates and they can put more money in the bank.
Yeah.
So we created SAM, and SAM is a collaboration of me and my partner, Lori, but there's 8 experts that you get within the 9 weeks. So every week you get a live training from a person that is truly the expert in that foundational training. So it's vision, it's knowing your numbers, it's knowing how to charge what you're worth, it's knowing how to do basic social media and branding, how to use your time more efficiently and put processes in place, how to get media exposure. You can go to the website by visiting thesamcourse.com. And we're getting ready to kick off our next 9-week, what we're calling our Spring SAM Mastermind Group next week.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're inviting people to go to the Emerging Entrepreneurs page and watch the webinars that we're doing there too.
Great. Well, thank you, Carey. And for anyone that's interested in taking their business to the next level and you're tired of being busy and broke, this is the best course for you.
Totally is.
Yeah.
We've been running it for a year and a half, and the people who take it seriously, Colleen, they show up, they do the work. It is a live call. They get accountability partners every week. In 90 days, just make a pivot in how they're showing up in their business. And it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. I want to spotlight that, Carey. You just brought up a very good point. Accountability partners and community. We are not meant to do life alone. None of us are. That's why we have these communities.
Yeah.
Communities exist because that's how we thrive. That's how we can move our businesses forward. It's through collaboration. You know, I could sit here and do a podcast once a week, like a lot of podcasters do, and do a radio show where I'm just talking to the public. But who wants to sit and listen to me talk for an hour? Right. You know, for me, bringing on and collaborating with stories and successes and understanding how we can tap into all of the history of other people and how they've been able to navigate through the hardships or through the successes, that gives us the ability to be able to not only lead up, but also keep a hand down to lift another, right? Yes. Because that's really what it's about. Lead up and leave the ladder down for somebody else, right?
Yes. Love
because
that.
We're women, and we have to remember we are stronger in a community. It's not about competition. There isn't one single person out there that can compete with you because they're not you.
Right.
They could do the exact same thing as you, but they're still not you.
Yeah, there's so many coaches out there.
Yeah.
But I specialize in vision. That's what I'm known as. I'm known as a vision expert.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you find your zone of genius.
Yep. Your creative genius.
One thing that you are called to do, and you stay there, and everything else works out great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, we at Lead Up for Women, we have a lot of online platforms. We do Teaching Tuesdays where you can teach a webinar. We have one coming up on April 11th where we're teaching another Teaching Tuesday, April 14th. It's the second Tuesday of the month. So we have a lot of online platforms, magazines, radio shows, webinars, a lot of virtual opportunities for you. I definitely invite all of you to come out and download the free 10 tips, download free chapter of my book. You can download free digital magazine. There's a lot of opportunities for you to participate, to be able to understand if this community is right for you. Because there's a lot of communities out there. This one is about showing up, being seen, stop playing small, play big, get out there. We're there for you. Yep. So that's what we're about. Carey, thank you for the vision that you gave us today about, again, how we can thrive, how we can get our vision onto paper. And I suggest that all of you go check out her Facebook workshop that she's doing. Jump on to Lead Up for Women tomorrow. Check out our live Facebook. And it's just an opportunity for you to learn more while you're at home, right? Mm-hmm. And how to grow your business from working from home, because a lot of us have done it for years. So we have a lot of tips on how you can do that, and be socially isolated is really not a big deal at all. I have two wonderful ladies joining me today that we're interviewing. We have Allison Jordan and Dr. Melana Linton. Ladies, please say hi to our listeners.
Hi.
Yeah. So Allison, I want to start with you because you're joining us all the way from Chicago. And even though we've got a few minutes before break, I would love for you to share, you've done amazing work, and you run a studio there in Chicago. You've done so many events. I could just go on and on, but why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you and what got you into the events and arts and teaching and guiding all of the dancers and students that you work with now.
Okay. Well, first off, Colleen, I just want to acknowledge you about what you're doing with Lead Up for Women. You're incredible. And just the last conversation that I had with you was just so extraordinary. And it really made me look inward, like what Carey said, like really put power to my vision. And so I've been in the entertainment space for over 35 years. Yes, I'm 53. But,
yes.
So, I think last year was my year more of manifestation, right? Because I was kind of like piecemealing my life. I was doing, like you said, special events. I produced a festival in Chicago. We have over 450,000 people. And then I do the stuff in the entertainment space. I represent my sister, who's an actress, Drew Sidor. We travel all over. She has so many movies. She's got 3 movies coming out, I think, in this last month. And I've been in the entertainment game. So it was like I was here, you know, doing a lot of, like you say, great things. However, I was not piecing it all together. So it makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I was manifesting all these different things, you know, I was really kind of going through a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and looking at my resume and like, I've done some incredible things, but am I truly living in my purpose, you know? And my purpose powered by my passion, because I have a lot of passion. I went to culinary school. I love to cook, blah, blah, blah. But was it all under an umbrella of purpose? And so I was kind of, you know, thinking about it and praying about it. And I always tell people, you know, I own Epic Arts and Entertainment, and the word epic is really an acronym, but it wasn't like I backed into it. God gave me every person is capable. And that was it. And I just woke up and I'm like, every person is capable. Yes. You know, like, oh my God, everything that I've done, it's always been something I did not know before I did it. And how are we showing up every day, you know, knowing that we can do it, but are we capable of it? But we're all capable. It doesn't mean, you know, we have the tools, right? And so then when I
Allison, that's actually the best lead in for us to run to break. And I say that because I want you to talk about those tools that you've discovered on how you show up and what you've been able to do with those tools and how it changed your life once you realize that. So if you don't mind, hold on for 2 minutes while we hop to break. And then when we get back, I'm going to have you explain that.
Perfect.
All right, everybody, stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
All clear. Just a second while I save this first segment.
Thanks. So technically, Facebook, we're not going to break for 2 minutes because we get to go straight on to finding out much faster than 2 minutes how Allison did this. And so, Allison, when I come back, I'm just going to lead right in with that. And then we're going to have you go ahead and talk about your story.
Got it.
So thank you. And sorry I had to interrupt you there. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if you're watching down there. The broadcast date is tomorrow.
Oh, great. Thank you.
At 11 a.m. He just asked me a question.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And then we'll get back going here in just a second. They just have to save this segment. Pre-recording moves a little quicker. Oh, hi, Derek. So we're having some people join us now on Facebook Live. So I just want to say hi to everyone that's joining us. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask those. And I will make sure that our guests know that we have questions. And hopefully we will be able to come back in a second.
Yeah, just a second. I'm having a little bit of computer issues. 1 second here.
That is unacceptable. So unlike me to say that because it's not like me at all. I love your hair, Allison. I need that in my life. Oh, girl.
It's easy.
Oh, my girlfriend tells me all the time. She's like, you can get a weave too. I'm like, I need one.
I taught myself how to do my own hair.
It's beautiful.
Google is my friend.
Yeah. You know, there's so much information online, you know, and I do love face-to-face interaction. I do love personal connections. I really feel like there's so much we can get out of, you know, being face-to-face with people and being in the same room. And so that's probably what I miss the most right now is because I'm a hugger. I love to be around people and have that connection, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But, you know, Zoom is like my biggest friend, and I've been on Zoom and I've been doing videos on Instagram and Facebook all day because it's just a way for me to connect with people.
Sorry to interrupt, ladies, but I'm all set to go.
Okay, we'll come back.
Great. Awesome. I'll count you in.
Okay, perfect.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, listeners. We're so glad you stayed with us. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I'm your host, Colleen Biggs, and I'm with my co-host, Carey Conley today. And so for all of you that have been listening, you heard that we were speaking with Allison Jordan, and she's talking to all of us about how she was able to show up, but she started before break to talk about the tools that she discovered on how to do that. So Allison, let's get back to your story because you kind of left us all hanging there.
I know. Da-da-da-dun. So yeah, I think, I was kind of talking about how the evolution of Epic came about and about the whole foundation of every person is capable, and how I was transitioning from my season of manifestation until the season of completion, really. And I had made a commitment to myself in doing that, was that everything that I'm going to do in this kind of completion season had to have three core things. Was, creating a legacy for my son and, for life, and changing the world. Am I doing things that's changing the world? And more importantly, am I having fun? Am I having fun doing all of that? And so I kind of looked at everything from those three type of pivotal points of my life to sort of make things work, right? And that's pretty much where I have been. And I was getting emotional yesterday. I'm probably going to get choked up now. Sorry. Because my dad was a pediatrician for 40 years in the community, and he had made a commitment to service the indigent population, give them quality health care for the indigent population. And he was the first African-American doctor, chief resident of Rush Presbyterian St. Luke, was a really big hospital. And over the years, I think he probably saw over 3 generations of children. He's a pediatrician, and he's now has Alzheimer's. But he came to one of my productions when I did Annie, and I'll talk about Epic Arts and Entertainment, what we do, how exciting it is. But we did the musical Annie last year, and he was still kind of forgetting, but he looked at me and he goes, you're still got my kids. You still got my kids, right? And at that moment, I knew that the word legacy was connecting. That even though he wasn't taking care of these kids medically, he said, you still got my kids, which is a bigger picture. It means you're still doing the work. You're still in the community, and you're still helping these kids, which, we always claimed as ours because we called them our babies. And so for me, when I think about the legacy of my dad and the legacy that I'm leaving, it just all came together. So at Epic Arts and Entertainment, we teach dancing, all disciplines from ages 3 to 100. And we teach acting, which I've been teaching for 35 years. I teach Uta Hagen, which is a discipline that I learned back in Hollywood. And we teach sign language, martial arts, boxing. We have a light heavyweight champion boxer, Derek Durr, who's one of our instructors. We teach, you name it. If we don't teach it, we'll do it. Line dancing. We teach everything. And under that whole umbrella, we teach film, television, theater arts, you name it. Under that umbrella, our goal is, and our mission is, everybody will have this moment on stage and in the spotlight, whatever that means. You get it. We all have something to say. We all have something to show. We all have a talent to give and share. And then we also use our space as an incubator space for any other person that needs to utilize their vision and bring it to life for purpose. And I've donated it to many entrepreneurs because I do have a brick and mortar, which that's a whole nother conversation. But having a brick and mortar is not just for me. Like what Carey said earlier, how collaboration is important. I always say 100% of everything means nothing. I'll take 10% of something if it has value, if we're creating something real in the space of the world, right? So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. I wrote my first movie, which just had a great meeting yesterday with some people that want to invest in it. And my goal is to see a female director and a young girl that's age 10 assistant directing, and some little 9-year-old producers working around the movie set and some wardrobe kids, because I've been in this industry for a long time. I worked for Johnny Carson, for HBO, for NBC. I was a 19-year-old, fast little girl running around the studio trying to get mentorship from someone. And I know that when you watch a movie, when I speak to kids, and I do that a lot, is the best part of the movie are the credits, because it does not take one person or two people. It takes all them names, a key grip, a gaffer, assistant, to put this whole composition together to entertain the world. And so Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I teach acting, been doing it for 35 years. And I tell my kids when I'm teaching the first day of classes, it is a privilege to stand on a stage.
Yeah.
So when you get on the stage, right, you have one goal, and that goal is to move someone in that audience. I mean, move them. Because everyone comes for entertainment, but it's more than just making them laugh and cry. It's making them think, to making them go out and do something, right? Yeah. So everything comes from a place of authenticity and truth. And that first, when they look at me, go, you know, and so from that moment, we take off in truth and power and the ability that every person is capable to do whatever your mind and whatever your heart drives you to be. And that's what we do at Epic. Yeah.
I love that. I love the name Epic, right? Because it is epic. You're utilizing the vehicle of all of these different rooms that you have under one umbrella and one roof for children to find what their passion is, and then to really build their confidence and their self-esteem, and to show up as themselves in like all their glory of what they're meant to do.
Every day.
What a that's beautiful. You know, I used to work for a company, the Little Gym, and we were we used the vehicle of gymnastics to help children build their confidence and understand, you know, their bodies and be able to accomplish specific tasks, you know, and they learned how to fail. So you teach them how to fail in a very safe, nurturing environment. For them to be, because they're going to fail eventually. Why not teach them now so that they know how to overcome it, so that when it happens again, they know how to get through it.
That's right. And it's our responsibility to tell the truth about every failure I've made. And, you know, I have a kid who, you know, he was struggling in the centered class with all the other kids. And I just noticed it. And he goes, look, it takes me months to memorize something, months. So I picked a day when it's just me and him. And I'm like, look, I'll meet you where you are. We're going to get you where they are, and you're embarrassed, but don't be. But I come there on days I don't even have to be there, just because I want him to know that I'm showing up for him, and I'm rallying for him, because he dropped out of a couple of productions, but he wasn't being authentic. And we have to make sure that we give space for our kids to not feel afraid because they're bullied or they're scared. So he was having problems reading and memorizing. So I have people that are coming in and help me mold him. They have techniques of memorization. My mom, who's a pastor, partnered with me for whole life, Be Whole Life Coaching, which is a partnership with us, because performance arts puts a lot of pressure on our kids, and we have to weed out whatever's in the way. And I'm not qualified to do that, you know, so I deter them to her so that we can make sure that we're also addressing these other elements, you know, some things at home, things in family, faith, whatever's going on, because we want them to be fully committed to what this journey looks like and not just beat them up. Like, you know, you didn't memorize your lines, you know, well, because I didn't eat last week, you know, my mom's struggling, whatever. So we are addressing all these ancillary issues in this building, because it's just more than just the arts. It's a lot of other stuff, you know? So I want everybody to sort of pray for us, because we are in a journey right now. We are looking to expand where I am now. And I found this location, 25,000 square feet. I already claimed it. She doesn't even know. Girl, I already signed the little fake lease, but because the space we're in now is 6,000 square feet, and it's just open space. So we can't do things together. I think I was teaching once, and I didn't know there was a private dance class, and I'm screaming over the music. I'm telling them to turn it down, and the boxing. So we would enable us to work simultaneously, not together, in different studios. And so that's the next phase of this completion journey is to expand so that we can all collaborate, and we can get more kids in at a time, and we can work harmoniously together in one location. Yeah.
I'm asking you this question, but where are you located again?
So we're located in Calumet City, and I'm actually inside of a mall. I'm inside of River Oaks Mall in Calumet City, Illinois. It's a south suburb.
At Illinois. Okay.
Yeah, it's a south suburb, and the location we're looking at is not far from there. It's, you know, one standalone building, and being in the mall was pretty cool, but then you have to, you know, abide by mall hours and a lot of other stuff. So
I would love to see you build this out as a virtual platform.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ooh, girl, you just layered it, honey. Okay.
There's so much that you can do with it virtually. And that was my next
Yeah.
question, which is, I know you're brick and mortar, and I want you to be able to share how anyone listening that's in that area that is interested in getting,
Yes.
to either work with the children or for them to be able to get their children enrolled. How would they do that, Allison?
Okay, so I'm still looking for instructors, dance instructors, everybody. And you can go to our website, which is epicartschicago.com. You can reach us on Facebook at Epic Arts and Entertainment. And we are located, like I said, in Calumet City, inside of River Oaks. Well, they called it River Oaks Mall. It's called River Oaks Center now, but it's River Oaks Mall, Calumet City, Illinois.
That's great. And I know you're going to put all the information in the comment section as well on Facebook. So if you guys are listening to this through on demand, make sure you go out to our Facebook page so you can click on all of her links. But Allison, you are an angel sent directly from God to be able to guide these students, to be able to not only leave a legacy yourself, but you're helping them live and leave a legacy too.
Thank you.
It's huge.
You're gonna make me cry again. And before I go, because I can talk a lot, I want you to know that, I have signed my book publishing deal with Lumen Publishing, and I'm doing my book.
Yes.
The title is Life Profoundly and How I Became a Palm Tree. And we could talk later about what the palm tree, Google it.
Yes.
What the symbolicness of it. And I'll be ready in November for the conference. So that
I remember the first time you told me that, I was like, girl, you better write a book.
You manifested that. And I'm going to put that in my introduction, honey. So I'll be ready. You let me know. I will write a reference, a recommendation. I'll write intro, whatever you need from me. Intro. You write my introduction.
I believe in you 1,000%. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we all do. Well, thank you for being with us today, Allison, and stay with us.
I am.
As we move over to introduce and speak to Dr. Marlena Linton. Now, I want to say it's very important. We were talking about this earlier. She's a doctor. She's worked really hard to get to this point to be able to be a doctor. And what I love about your message is that the very first time I met you and you walked in the room, I connected with you right away. I was like, I think I was supposed to sit at this table with you. And I don't know why, but I believe in people crossing my paths for a short time, for a long time, for a specific reason. And I knew you crossed my path that day for a reason, but you have quite the story of being a survivor, which I'd like us to get into. But you you exude passion and purpose in just every single step you take every day. And that is to be admired. So thank you, Dr. Marlena, for being with us today.
I so appreciate you. And yes, it's quite important to walk in my purpose and be really passionate about it, because my voice, my life was actually taken away from me. And every day now for me is when you say you hit the bottom, you can look up. I'm just so appreciative to be able to just look up and just still be here. And so there's no days that are half full. They're all full. Actually, my intention is my cup to overflow into someone else's cup every day, every breath, every moment. So I'm really excited about life.
Well, I am going to leave this little tidbit, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop to break. And if it's early, that's fine, because really what I want to leave the listeners with so that they come back to really hear your full story is that I know that you were in the hospital for over 6 months and you were on life support. And I don't think anyone thought you were going to make it at that point. No. Not even the doctor. So everybody stay with us, because when we get back, we're going to talk to Dr. Marlena about her journey, really through death and surviving, and understanding what her purpose is on earth today and how she inspires others. So stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
All clear. And then Marlena, real quick, you sound a little quiet. Do you have a microphone that you're using?
I am just on my camera.
Oh, okay, great. If you can go into your Zoom settings and see if you can raise the volume a little bit.
Okay.
Do you remember where that arrow was, Dr. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. let them save this file, and then we'll pop right back in. And then we'll finish out the show with Dr. Marlena. And then I'll just make a couple announcements at the end of who we have joining us next week on the show. And then we will close it out.
Okay, is that a little better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you count backwards from 5 for me?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Can you go a little higher on the audio settings, please? Let's turn them up just a little bit more, please.
It's at the highest.
Okay. All right. We'll have to roll with it and we can fix it in post-production. So
Okay.
great.
I
Thank
think
you.
you sound
Try
amazing.
to come in a little more.
All righty. I'm all set if you're all set.
Let's do it. I want to come back and talk about this story. Everyone's just on
Awesome.
the edge of their seats.
Great. Awesome. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. And for those of you that were with us before the break, you know that we were talking with Dr. Marlena Linton, and she is going to talk to us a little bit about her journey and what landed her in the hospital to the point where she didn't feel like her life was going to be able to continue. So, Dr. Marlena, I'd love for you to share with us what you learned and when things pivoted for you.
Sure. I was 39 years old, and I'm a corporate HR director by my corporate trade. I'm also a serial entrepreneur, a mom of 4 sons, a grandmother of 3, full life going on. You know,
Yeah.
I'm now my parents' parents because now they're aging, and I'm there for them. And so I found myself at 39, not sure who I was, what happened to my dreams. You know, so I got there, and I was like, I had this perfect life, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled.
Mhm.
And so I decided to have another child because why not give myself something else to, love, and someone that would love me.
At 39.
39. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes. With a little problem though. So my last child, I had a tubal. And so I went to the reproductive specialist, and I was like, I want to reverse this. And he said, sure, no problem. So I was like, oh God, but. See, during my depression years, I had done what most people do. I shopped because that was my addiction, or I ate, which is my addiction. So I found myself there, bank account decrease, waistline, increase. He said, we can reconnect, everything the way you have this child, but you need to lose 75 to 100 pounds. So I opted for the gastric bypass. HR director, I'm going to fix it quick and do everything, keep it all in my control. And actually found myself on the operating table, and I coded, and they resuscitated me, but not into consciousness, into unconsciousness. I actually spent 80 days on life support, unconscious. 80 days. It's sort of like 80. Yeah. It's like going to sleep right now, taking a nap, and waking up in June, pretty much. And when I woke up, it was, where are you? Who are you? What happened? And I mean, hands felt like ice, strapped to the bed, life really just kind of taken away. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is that I'd lost everything trying to fix something that really wasn't broken. Mm. Because someone else, and I'm not just saying the doctor said to have, the surgery as a result to get the baby, but it was because I had lived my life where someone else was dictating to me how it should be, whether I wasn't enough or, do this or live this way, but it wasn't my real dreams or my real purpose. And so while I lay there, I was hospitalized, for over 6 months. I was still on the ventilator because it was a struggle to even be able to get off of that, to be able then to learn to walk again, to be able to even speak again, to have your doctor tell you that, I don't know how you survive, because, he says, if you made it the first 48 hours, we'll see, is what he told my parents. And then when I made it to, that point, he said, I still don't know. And he said, I don't know what God you serve, but I did all that I could. And I didn't think you'd be here. And I said, you know what? It wasn't in his hand. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm in the ministry, been in church all my life, had faith, but I was okay and prepared to die. But many of us aren't prepared for the complications that happen. And that's the part that I wasn't prepared for.
Mm.
So I knew I was going to spend eternity, but what do I do with needing to walk again, talk again, and just live this life? And I hadn't lived my purpose up to that point. I had abundance, I had good things, had a good life, but what really was my purpose? And so I went on a 15-year journey to figure it out. And as I arrived at the end of that 15-year journey, part of that was Dr. Marlena, Purpose and Passion, came alive.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was really riding on a bus in Ensenada, Mexico. I haven't been in the mountains riding horseback with my sons from a cruise. We're heading back to the ship. And God spoke to me and he said, this is your purpose. Your purpose is to use your life for others to have a vision about their life, and then co-create with me so others are served. And from that, I just went on an adventure to find out what that meant, and talk to everybody and see what their story is. And it birthed Rediscovering Your Destiny, the power of possibilities to reinvent the inevitable, because God's given us everything we need as we stand. And we just have to learn how to tap into it. So this is why I live every day shining a light on others. And I speak about why faith, because with faith, we have hope and we can dream again on tomorrow. And so I have programs, and Zoom is my friend because I do the programs on Zoom. I actually have a presence ministry where if you need me to come in and touch and heal and do that as well. But it's about helping that individual get to their vision, helping them get to their purpose and do it where they're passionate about it. And because we're all a part of the master, we get to create masterpieces.
Marlena, your message is super strong, and I want to just deconstruct that for 1 second for everybody, which is she started her story by sharing how she was looking outside of herself for things to make her happier, more fulfilled, which is what a lot of people tend to do. And I think we've all been in that part of our life where we're looking for something externally to help us feel powerful, loved, purposeful, passionate. It's from external. When you did that, you found yourself in a situation where you had to tap into everything internal to really build who Marlena was. And your lesson was extremely excruciating for you to have to go through that. But what a beautiful birth at the end for you to now be this beacon on earth of helping other people not have to. So what an exemplary example of leaving the ladder down, because all you do all day long is lift up people and help them understand how external forces aren't going to be what resolves, what's not going to give you your legacy to live, as Allison talked about. You have to bring it from inside.
Absolutely. I mean, Mark Twain said that the two most important days in our lives, the day we're born and the day we find out why.
It's my favorite quote.
That's my favorite quote. Girl.
And for me, I have two birthdays, literally. I have two birthdays, not the kind like when my parents split up and, I celebrated one with my mom and then one with my, no, I have two birthdays. The one that I physically had, and then the one that I came up out of the ashes, out of death, to get another chance.
That was
to help someone else. And that's, my why. My bigger why is, and don't get me wrong, I have like 5-6 degrees. I'm certified in hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, in NLP, all of that. But what good is it for me to have it? I don't share it with others and help others. And what I learned on that, and that's, it was 6 months just being hospital plus being hospitalized, but the journey of recovery, writing, talking, being able to get my thoughts back into alignment after that was the real journey. And as fast as I wanted it to go, it took 15 years. But I don't want others to sit on their purpose. So this is what I call it the destiny journey. We do it quick and we do it fast. Get past that. If I had a superpower, it would be moving you past that heartbreak, because it's the heartbreak, it makes us, but moving it past the heartbreak right into action. Because many are praying, I need a miracle. Yes, I'm the miracle, but the miracle still needs to be actioned. You still need to take action once you get the miracle.
Absolutely. And I think it takes courage. So we talk about vulnerability all the time, and vulnerability is courage. It's bravery to be able to say, I can't figure this out on my own. I'm not sure how to do it. That's why Carey exists. That's why you exist. That's why Allison exists. If someone's getting the message today of continuity here, it's about having others along with you on the journey to be able to help you tap into what your greatest purpose and power is. And that doesn't mean that you have to leave a corporate position and go start your business. Your purpose may be about serving others. How can you serve others through what you do every day? How can you, and Carey said it from the very beginning, it's perspective and it's mindset. You could look at what we're going through today, this pandemic, as it's the end of the world and fear and panic. Or you can look at it as, wow, what an opportunity for us to slow down and be with the people that we love.
Absolutely.
Acknowledge what we're grateful for and the things that we take for granted every day that may not be there tomorrow. Slow down and start connecting with other people and stop moving so fast.
Yes.
When I grew up, a home was the foundation, and now we do everything outside of the home pretty much. So it's that time to get back into the home. So my book is about helping women, and I speak to men as well, get to back to their identity, so they can be strong, that strong foundation in the home. So whether married or single, that we're that strong foundation, and then we blossom from there, we grow from there.
Some of us are the only foundation in the home, like Carey.
Absolutely.
It's her and her daughter, and her daughter lives in Oklahoma. So
yes, it's actually me and my dog, but so much of what you said, Dr. Marlena, I can resonate with. Number one, you and I have the same mission in life.
Yes.
I know that I exist to help people understand why they exist. You said something very similar, which is why that Mark Twain quote is my favorite. And I think the underlying thing we're all saying today, including Allison, what you're doing, is that we have to keep pointing people back to their purpose early in life, which is why I love you working with the kids, Allison, because so many of them know when they're children what their purpose is. The problem is that we still have a culture that strips them of it.
Yes.
Right. So through school, through the degradation of our families, even our churches have shifted a lot. So by the time they get to not even middle school, I think it starts way earlier now, they have lost their entire identity. And that is why we have so many epidemics like we have right now. So we are all pointing to the same thing. And that is that we need to help people collaboratively know what their vision and their purpose is. It's everything.
So that's what I would challenge all of us in the coming weeks to be doing is, what can you do to lift others? What can we do to preserve the identity of those that follow us, right? Because believe it or not, it's not as much of what you say as what you do. And people are watching you. And you are a leader in so many areas of your life. And I challenge all of you to decide to step up and to tap into your greatest potential through whatever those means are. If you join us on Facebook Lives, if you're searching online, if you contact Dr. Marlena, which Dr. Marlena, really quick, will you give your contact information for someone listening?
Or it's purposeandpassion.com. So the word purpose, the letter N, passion, the word passion.com. And on there, I have a link. You can just click on the link, put your information in, and we can have a complimentary strategy session to just hear what you have going on. You can also get my free copy of the first 40 pages of my book there, or my book is also on Amazon, the ebook, Rediscovering Your Destiny. Just type that in or my name in. And the book is structured to where you actually have to take action.
I love that.
I love that word, action.
Action. That's our word of the day. Action.
That's a word.
Purpose and action.
Yes.
So ladies, we are just about out of time, but I want to thank you so much. This has been a powerful hour. Powerful women. I loved having all of you together with me today. And I wanted to remind all of our listeners that we're going to be live again next week on Wednesday, the 25th. And I have a special co-host joining me from the UK. You know, they're not able to get out either. And her name's Kay Hutchison, and she's been on the radio and had a podcast for many, many years. She's the author of a book called My Life in 37 Therapies. Love that, right? Love that title. And she's going to be joining me with CEO Laura Magruder. And Laura Magruder is the CEO of Maggie's Place. This is a nonprofit that we're supporting right now. They bring in pregnant women that are homeless, and they give them food and shelter until the baby's 9 months old. And then they become an alumni and they teach them. It's just a wonderful opportunity for us to give back to a community if you're looking for a nonprofit. And the other person we're going to be speaking to is Susan Burrell. She's an author, podcaster, speaker. She wrote a book of empowerment. I love it. I have it. It's kind of the guide on how to stay empowered as a female. And she was also going to be a speaker, Carey, at the Best You Expo with us this week that got canceled. So we're not able to be there, but that's okay because we're doing a lot of things virtually. So you guys can go out to the Best You Expo on Facebook and check that out. And you'll be able to see a lot of us out there virtually anyway. So I want to thank you ladies from the bottom of my heart for joining me today. And I want to just send one last message to my listeners as we close, which is remember, you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. So be you and be strong, because how you navigate your future is up to you, and the world needs you at your best. And without you, you leave a space. Yes. So we want you to tap into your power and purpose, and we want you to lead strong. So lead up, be you, be strong. And ladies, thank you. I look forward to all of my listeners joining us next week. All right, you guys have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
All clear.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day. It was a pleasure working with you, ladies.
You too. It's a pleasure working with you.